what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about a brand new segment of how to beat, and we're talking about how to beat Ritual Beasts. This is, I believe, coming out today or next week. It's actually really cool because usually I'm like a month or two late because I have to figure a deck out, figure what works, figure what doesn't, find like cool spicy techs that other people haven't thought of, right? But because Konami has done such a great job of giving older archetypes, except Battery Man. If you're watching this, Konami, except Battery Man, brand new, really awesome support, and they did do that with Ritual Beast, which should be a solid Tier 2, Tier 1 strategy in the upcoming, very, very soon future. And it actually is a really good matchup with Snake Eyes. So that's actually really interesting for Ritual Beast. But I actually know this deck very well, and so the changes make a lot of sense, make the deck a lot better. So we're going to be talking about how to beat Ritual Beast. If there are any decks that you guys want me to talk about how to beat, I can do super duper meta deck like Snake Eyes, or I also have a video where we talked about heroes. We can do Sacred Beast. I don't really care. I know just about every deck that there is to know. If you guys want me to talk about a deck, please let me know in the comments down below. We are going to start, though, on Master Duel, because Master Duel is behind. But I think a lot of people think that, you know, because it's this new sport, it's going to be completely different like it was with Fire King, right? And that's really not the case. Ritual Beast is still going to function the way Ritual Beast does function, right? Like, new Ritual Beast is still going to run, like, triple Carnahawk, probably double Rampengu. It's still ulti Carnahawk, turbo, into Steeds, into Ambush, all of these different things, right? It just has support around it. It's kind of like how the Salamangreat support, and Salamangreat's actually a great example too. But it's kind of like how the Salamangreat support just made the deck a little more modern, a little better. When I look at Salamangreat, the reason I said it was a great example too is because what do people normally say? If you know, you know. If you don't, that's fine. But if you know, comment down below what people normally say. It's kind of a combo deck, right? So like, it is a stun deck, but it's kind of combo, and then Ritual Beast really falls under that too. If their combo gets stopped, they can still do a lot of really good stuff, and that's kind of how I view Salamangreat, right? We look at a deck like Snake Eyes or Sun Avalon, right? These different decks, they need to get their combo going and going well for them to pop off. Ritual Beast is not like that. What Ritual Beast really focuses on are cards like this. Ritual Beast Tamer Elder, where it says you can normal summon this card. After you normal summon this card, you can normal summon an additional time with a Ritual Beast, right? Now, something that's very interesting that you will notice, every single main deck Ritual Beast, including the new one, right? They all say this card can you can only special summon this card once per turn, right? And so keeping track of that's going to be very important when facing Ritual Beast, because they're trying to combo off and do all these really cool, fun things with cards that are not hard once per turn. Carnahawk is not a hard once per turn. Petalfin, Apelio, Rampengu. I believe Winda is. No, Winda's not either, right? Like, all of these cards are not hard once per turns, right? So that's where it gets really interesting. And effectively all Ritual Beast is trying to do is, if you've never seen it, you don't know what they're trying, you've never seen it before, right? They're trying to normal summon to extend into a Wen, into a Lara, into, you know, their new monster, right? That just came out, their new Lara, right? And they're trying to use these cards to fusion summon more times, to get more cards, to eventually just overwhelm their opponent with card advantage, right? And with a card like Ritual Beast Steeds, for example, you could find yourself in a situation where, no, it pops, so it's older, right? We would like to see non-destruction removal. We would like to see, I mean, it doesn't target, right? But we like to see, you know, bounce to the hand, shuffle back into the deck, these different things. Because Steeds is an old card, so it destroys. That's still really good if it's well timed. And probably the biggest thing that this deck does, and this is why I said it had a good Snake Eyes matchup, is it banishes everything all the time, right? Like, I'm trying to see if I can find maybe the best Ritual Beast card in the game. No, this is, even with the new support, like, this is the best card in the game for Ritual Beasts. Especially in today's hand trap heavy format, you can't send Droll Lockbird. You can't send Effect Veiler. I believe DD Crow, which this is, deck doesn't care about that. You can't send those cards, right? Ghost Spell, right? I believe Ghost Mourner discards a lot of the newer hand trap, like Nibiru's another one. Nibiru's actually pretty good against this deck. We'll be talking about Nibiru in a little bit. I just wanted to double check because actually off the top of my head, it doesn't need the graveyard. So we have gotten to, like, Infinite Impermanence is another one. It doesn't go to the graveyard. So we have gotten to a spot where Dimensional Fissure isn't 100% like that, but there are going to be situations in hand states, especially because Droll and Lockbird is really good against this deck. There are, and Ghost Mortar is not. Imperm is not. Droll and Lockbird is really going to be, you know, one of your main weapons against this deck. And we'll talk more about hand traps good against this deck in a second. But it does say you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Well, you can if D-Fissure's up. You can if Dimension Shifter is live, right? And so that's what makes this deck so interesting. I do want to say, now that we're talking about the banishing, if you notice when it comes to Ritual Beasts, they want to banish their cards. They want to have their cards banished, but they don't really benefit. It's not like, let me see if I can get the right card here. It's not like Tyranno Infinity. I knew it was Tyranno something. Infinity. Where this card gets stronger the more card, or Gren Maju, right? The cards that get stronger based on what's banished or how much is banished, these different things. So there are cards that are specifically good against Ritual Beasts, and this is an interesting little pile here. I do want to include one of these is not like the other, and it is the one that's on the screen right now. You might think because Ritual Beasts, I mean, because Baguska's in here, right? But Baguska's different than Skill Drain because you have to read in defense position. Negate the activated effects of monsters that were in defense position when that effect was activated. Like, that specifically counters Ritual Beasts, right? Skill Drain does not. And unfortunately, especially because I don't think there's a ban list coming anytime soon. Skill Drain is at 3. And previous Ritual Beast lists actually would run Skill Drain because similar to like Sprite running D-Shifter, it was actually fine. Like, they don't love it. You can't activate Conhawk. You can't activate Pengu, right? So they would side in Skill Drain against like Heroes, because Heroes is really good at the time, right? Or even Shadol's, right? You know, because you summon Winda, and Ritual Beast is in a really bad spot. If you just summon a Winda, honestly, actually, I hadn't even thought about that because Winda is such a niche card because you have to be able to make her, and not every deck can make her. But if you can make El Shadol Winda, that's really good against Ritual Beast. They need to special summon at least once before the play even gets off the ground, right? And the fact that it can't be destroyed by card effects, so Steeds isn't very good. El Shadol Winda is actually pretty good. I actually just thought of that. But the reason that I brought up Winda is because Winda under Skill Drain is in a lot worse of a spot, right? Winda under Skill Drain is a 2200 beat stick, right? And so maybe that's their answer to Winda is Skill Drain, because the way their effects work, they can go Ulti Conhawk effect to put 2 back in search. It's going to get negated by Skill Drain, so we're going to chain, right? Kind of how people will tribute monsters, get around Imperm. It'll chain. That's why Imperm and Veiler aren't up here, right? Because it could chain, disappear, and still get the search, right? So don't waste your Imperms, don't waste your Veilers on that. The Link monster can't tag out So you can like do that, but the problem is the Link Monster's best effect to Imperm is going to be during your turn. So I would save the infinite impermanence for the Link Monster for after they're done, after they're completed. They pass to you, draw face Imperm, right? That's why that's not even up here. These are good. Some of these are good going second. Some of these are good going first. Some of these are good both, right? The ones that are good going first. Grave of the Super Ancient Organism, which may already be in your side deck thanks to Branded, is really good against this deck too, for a similar reason, right? Why is it good against Branded? Branded relies so heavily on level 6 or higher fusion monsters, right? And guess what? So does Ritual Beast. In fact, all Ritual Beast fusion monsters are higher, or 6 or higher, literally on the dot, right? And so obviously you're not gonna be able to stop the Link monsters, but Ritual Beast don't really want to do that. They don't. It can make it work. It can make it work under this, right? But it can't really do it as well as it would like to. Just like Branded. Branded can work under this card, but it doesn't work as well as it would like to. So you may already have this in your side deck. You probably already have this in your side deck too, because it's so good against Tempai. It's so good against Rogue. And it's great against Ritual Beast. Just turning off the fusion summoning. It kind of functions the way Grave does. It is a little... Grave is actually a little better, I would say. I don't know. It's tough because Grave shuts down us both, whereas D-Barrier only shuts down the opponent. But this card, and the thing is too, D-Barrier hits more cards. So D-Barrier I think is a better card, even if Grave is maybe a little bit better against Ritual Beast, right? And it's honestly a toss-up because both of them effectively stop the fusion summoning and turn off fusion summoning monster effects. If you wait for the Conahawk to come down, they can chain to D-Barrier, and the way it will resolve, it will resolve similar to like Imperm and Skill Drain. But if you just see normal summon Conahawk or activate Nulara's effect or normal summon Elder, and you just flip up D-Barrier, that might be Scoop Phase, right? And that's also why I have Solemn Judgment in here. And this is a card that I don't see a lot of people play it a lot, but against decks that rely so heavily on their normal summon, like Ritual Beast. Ritual Beast needs their normal summon because they are an older deck. Even with their new support, that speeds up the deck a lot, right? You Solemn the Wen, or you, not the Wen, but you Solemn the Elder, or you Solemn the Conahawk summon, the ulti Conahawk summon. That also might just be Scoop Phase. It depends on if they have any extenders in their hand. So Solemn isn't as great as maybe Grave or D-Barrier, but it's still really good. Obviously, Twin Twisters, Lightning Storm, and one other one that I don't even have on Master Duel. Because I don't love it, right? But because it's kind of fallen out of favor for Evenly. Evenly's just been a little bit better. Just that removal. Because Dark Ruler No More is not really a form of removal. It just negates the effects. And they can still do a lot. Dark Ruler is good, but not really that great, right? Lightning Storm is really good, just destroying the back row, especially if you're a graveyard heavy deck and they have Dimension Fissure up, right? Same goes for Twin Twisters. So they're kind of here for the same reason because, I mean, yes, Link monsters have to be in attack position. That's the beauty of Lightning Storm. But for the most part, they're probably going to end on a monster in defense position, right? And so that's where Lightning Storm can be super not impactful for its first effect, but that second effect is always going to be live against Ritual Beast if they know what they're doing, right? Same goes for Twin Twisters if your deck can run it. Cosmic, not as much because they can kind of get a lot. They can get like, they can search for a Steeds, they can activate a Fissure, and they can set another one, or set an Imperm, and you're just kind of like, what do I Cosmic? Now, if you have a graveyard heavy deck, and they have a D-Fissure up, that's where Cosmic comes in, right? Or obviously Harpy's Feather Duster too. I didn't want to put all of them up here, but just back row removal. Just get rid of the back row against Ritual Beast, and you should be in a relatively good spot. Now, I mentioned this card already. Droll Lockbird is absolutely fantastic against Ritual Beast. You got to be able to activate it though, right? If D-Fissure's not up, they go Ulti Conahawk, banish, put back, or Ulti Conahawk, put back, search, tag out, add, when, right? Or add Winda, right? Especially if they add Winda or when, because usually a Ritual Beast player, a good Ritual Beast player is going to end on steeds. So that they're going to get they're going to get extenders, steeds. That's usually how it's going to go. So if you see a window, if you see a when, you can punish that type of aggressive playstyle for a Droll and Lockbird, right? Now, Droll's not as great if they've already searched or if they opened steeds. And obviously, Droll is horrible under Dimension Shifter and Dimension Fissure because it is an older card. But this is a fantastic card, which may already be in your main deck. Artifact Lancia is another one that's kind of fallen out of favor, right? Because even if you stop Flowanda from banishing or you stop Kashtira from banishing, it doesn't really care, right? And those have been the best banish decks. We haven't really had a great like Metaphys or even like zombies can banish a lot. We haven't had like a great banish deck that wants to banish to combo. Ritual Beast is one of those. And so Artifact Lancia, it's really only good. I mean, it's okay. It's in Drytron. I believe you can search this in Drytron. So in Drytron, it's a little better, right? Because Ben 10 can search this. I know that. But there might be other ways to search Artifact Lancia in Drytron as well. So it's a little better there. But in general, Lancia is not really that great against a lot of decks, but it is great against Lancia. They just normal summon normal summon Carnahawk, activate Carnahawk effect, chain Lancia, and that might just be GG. That might just be the game for them, right? That also goes alongside with Chaos Hunter. I just kind of put both these up here because they kind of do the same thing. Now, Chaos Hunter is a little different in the sense that you need a card to discard. It's a level 7 or higher monster, but it also shuts off banishing completely, not just during your opponent's turn. So that's really, really good. Now, there's another card in here that you might have thought, like when you first saw it. Let me get rid of all the other cards. When you first saw it, you were probably like, oh, that's just probably in there for show or for clicks. And if you guys do like this, make sure you guys click the like button, click that subscribe button, and all of that jazz. But when we look at Ritual Beast, now obviously I clicked on Ulti-Gaia Pelio because it doesn't really fall under this. But Ulti-Gaia Pelio, unless you're summoning it out with Ritual Beast spawned, which is possible, it's a hard card to get out. Because you effectively need what all the other fusions need, which is a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast, right? All the other fusions need that. But you also need a fusion monster, and that's where this gets really complicated. That's where this gets really hard. And this is the only card, including the new support, that has over 3,000 attack. And here's the thing too. We have so many monsters that have 3,000 or more attack, and there's like one negation. Like, as long as you can put up a monster with 3,000 or more attack and protect it against a potential Ulti-Gaia Pelio, you'll win. And by the way, if you have something that's 3,300, because obviously, like, Blue Eyes itself, Steeds is the out to Blue Eyes itself. But if they don't get that access to Steeds, or if you summon, like, because Blue Eyes can do this, if you go special summon Blue Eyes, right, off of, like, Oasis of the Dragon Souls, and you can just protect it from Steeds. And you can also protect it. Like, honestly, Blue Eyes might have a good matchup against Ritual Beast. Honestly, though, because the deck has not a lot that it can use to get over. I will say Apelio does give all Ritual Beast monsters 500 attack and defense. And so if they're having a tough time outing a monster via attack, they may go to Apelio, right? But it's just something to keep in mind. Like, yes, they can go Ritual Beast Bond using these two to make this. Yes, they can go summon Apelio, banish Ritual Beast, make them all 500 more attack. Yes, 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 and yes. But it's an extra step. It's not innate, right? Like, it's not easy for them to just get over a 3,000 attack beat stick. But let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. What are your tips and tricks against how to beat Ritual Beast? Let me know down there. Make sure you guys click that like button to show your support for the channel. Subscribe for even more content. Most importantly of all, have a good day.